Hashtag
Wow.
Gigatit.
What's going on, everyone? We are live, and we started it off with another Gigadick. Welcome to the Cylon Johnson Jills Battlestar Galactica spoiler-free rewatch series, and we are on season 2, episode 15, I believe. Scar, and what a scar it is! It's very nasty looking, and we just don't like the dude. He's not sexually attractive anymore. But with that, it's a real good episode. Probably one of John's favorites. It's a Kara Thrace hashtag Starbucks centric episode. With that, I'll introduce my co host and the lovely Cylon Jules panel. John St. Baptiste, how are you doing since it's ladies first?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about this episode. A lot of people did not like this episode. In fact, it was really panned by critics quite a bit, but for me, it was one of my favorites. I think it shows so much character development for both Starbuck and Kat, and to an extent, even Apollo. And I also like how it reiterates the really tight relationship that Starbuck and Hilo have, which we've kind of lost out on in the past 5 or 10 episodes. We haven't seen much of that, so I think that's really cool. Plus, I like how it's just set up like a military type of episode, but it pans away to the way that people actually feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. We're gonna dive right into this in just a second. Bobby Catalano, hashtag head made by Bobby. Is there some kind of kit that you did? I don't know. What's going on with you, Bobby? Let me know. What's up? I see John has something there that you made. You've just been on a spree making awesome, fantastic things. I'd like to show you some love, make you blush just a little bit because you are fracking awesome. And we love you, Bobby Catalano. We love you too, Clarissa Thompson. Don't feel left out. But Bobby, you are the woman of the hour, so to speak. Person, whatever. No judgment here. Look at all this awesome stuff. You know, all of this is handmade by Bobby stuff, except some of the stuff I earned by getting my ass kicked in tournaments. Other than that, it's books and Bobby stuff. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, thanks. How about yourself?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I think we'll wait a little bit and we'll announce that nanolon detector. Is that what it is? What's the appropriate words for that?
Oh, that's a rapid nanolon testing kit, I think. Emergency kit.
It's so funny. Just stay tuned for that. We got a lot of announcements, some news on giveaways, some stuff going on this channel and my channel later, but we'll get into that. Clarissa Thompson, I hear that you're pretty awesome. I don't know you personally, but I'll believe what people say. So how are you doing, Clarissa?
I don't know you personally. I've just talked to you almost every day since September. That's all. Uh, I'm really good. Glad to be back again for this week, and I loved this episode. I mean, I know I say that a lot, but I mean, it's a good series, and so far I haven't seen any episodes that I would consider to be bad episodes. So I'm a little confused, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Well, it's okay. Don't be confused. I think a lot of times, if you saw the little teaser, the little bit of teaser it was, I talked about how they used this flash forward motif, and I think it's frowned upon a little bit. Looking back on it, it's used more now, but this wasn't used that much when they started to use this flash forward, and they saw it. I want to say, right, John? They saw it more as they were trying to use shortcuts in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but uh,
No,
it's
I,
better
I could.
received now than it was in general. Like that's
Yeah,
what's crazy about it.
well, the last episode was so film noir, and this wasn't a remotely film noir style episode, but it used a lot of, especially particularly with flash forwarding, something that is done quite often, and a lot of film noir. and that can be jarring for people. I can understand that, but I think it's great. This is I believe the third episode that uses that style, where it's like 81 hours ago, 3 hours ago, so forth, and some people really just don't care for that. But I don't think it takes away from the quality of the episode.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, John. I think also too, like a lot of people feel that it's lazy storytelling when you're doing either flash forwards or flashbacks, that they look at it as an excuse to pump out an episode quickly. But I personally, I like this way of telling a story, not constantly, but it doesn't bother me. But I can see how for some people, especially people who don't like flashback episodes because there's no new footage, so there's nothing interesting to them, or flash forward episodes, they just feel that they wanted more of a story being acted out than, told in a back and forth fashion, I guess. But I like it fine. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with that, I think we'll get right into it. I think the name of the episode, Scar, right? And we find out it's a badass Cylon Raider, the baddest of badass. And something else we find out that's interesting about the Raiders is that they are reborn again or reincarnated, just like the human models that we see of. And Scar seems to have a scar every time. I don't know if I can confirm that or not. But he has a vendetta. Him and Starbuck seemingly have this rivalry. And she talks to Boomer about this situation. I'll leave it there and let y'all dissect that. But Boomer, Scar, anything in general with Scar, if that narrows down the topic enough for you. Go ahead.
I thought that at the beginning of the episode, there was the flash forward, obviously, to when they're in the battle. But then when they go back to previously, before all this battle and how the whole story started, I actually kind of thought that it was going to end up being a story of camaraderie between Kat and Starbuck, simply because when the Nuggets came in, they seemed to all be sort of like on the same page, Raz and the new guys and everything. And it just seemed like they were um, like working off of each other's commentary. So I had originally thought that this was going to be Starbuck and Kat sort of like becoming this dynamic duo. But, which they have definite potential to be. That would be a sweet matchup. That's going on almost to the Apollo Starbuck matchup level. But yeah, I thought it was going to go in a different direction than it did.
What did you think about this Cylon Raider in general, Bobby? How did you feel about Scar and this personality or persona that was given to this machine?
I don't know really what I thought about. I was surprised to find out that they also came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, so they remember their deaths. It's a learning experience, right? And
Learning experience, yeah.
how traumatic is that? How traumatic is that? It's cool to be immortal, but to have to be reborn again and then thrust into the chaos, knowing you're probably going to die again. Now the resurrection ship's gone, right? So speculate a little bit on that. John, feel free to throw in some because we need a little help today. Stop being so quiet, asshole. I'm just kidding. I love you, bro.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Clarissa. Or Bobby.
I'm like, who are you asking?
I have to say before I give my commentary.
Yeah, I was just letting John know he can speak a little more tonight. I won't hit him.
Every time he says he's not going to hit me, I get hit that number.
I mean, basically, it means that every Raider is living what Jon Snow lived, coming back from the dead and knowing that it's probably just going to die again. Uh, I know I wasn't that surprised because when Starbuck, acquired the Raider and it was all gushy wishy inside, and we came to realize it was organic. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they would just that they had a consciousness because there's no pilot, right? So it had to fly itself. So if they had a consciousness, then I guess it makes sense that they would have a consciousness that would go back into another Raider after they died.
So
But
you would say Scars dream of electric sheep?
that's an excellent question. But then if it's like an animal, then what do animals dream of? Do they like kick their feet in their sleep because they like something about their water bowl?
Have you seen? Okay, this is off topic, but have you seen that golden retriever that basically he'll start dreaming and he's running in his sleep and he'll jump up and run into a wall and stuff while he's still
Oh my
asleep?
God.
It's so hilarious,
poor
but like,
thing.
oh,
It's funny,
but
like fainting goats are funny.
yeah, that's because our genetic inbreeding. So that ties into Battlestar Galactica a little bit because humans and their technology. These goats have a shortened strand of DNA that makes it's like a glitch in their system. You just
Yeah.
scare them and they're because it doesn't do anything naturalistically. There's no evolutionary purpose. It would get them killed in the wild. So it's pretty hilarious. Sorry, go ahead. Off topic. John, would you like to bring us back? John's like, shut the fuck up, Johnny.
Yeah, when Starbuck has this conversation with Sharon, like it really drives home for you why Scar's the way he is, and a lot of things about why Cylons think and feel and act the way they do. Like if you had to die over and over again, like not just you live forever, so to speak, but you actually have to go through death and remember it. Like you have to remember it. So I think that leaves some questions and ramifications for what the human models, which have more than an animal conscious and intelligence, deal with if they die and they get resurrected. And if it happens over and over and over again.
And it's completely different than a normal type of immortality. And I'm not like doing vampire hate here, and it's kind of weird I have to make this comparison, but a vampire that, if they don't die, so if you kill the vampire, it's done. So it's immortal in a different sense. This type of immortality, you have to go through this tragic pain and suffering, feel the agony, the intense fear and adrenaline of death, and then come back from that and pull your head back together and basically just get back to work. Thinking that wouldn't affect any type of organic, semi-organic being, whatever you want to call this, because it's silicon based, but we've seen the organics of the inside of it. And, just to even wrap your mind around that, it's just a fun concept. Not, well, fun in a sense,
Well, yeah, it's still a conscious being.
Right.
And you have that consciousness up to that moment you died. And then, like, you start over again. That's got to frack with your head, man.
Yeah, and this one's so badass that the normal tactics don't work. The tactics that work 99.5% of the time don't work with Scar. He's in and out of there in less than 15 seconds, blowing your ass up and jumping. And it's really scary because Starbucks sees it as like an equal competitor. They have this crazy type of, what would you call it, a rivalry, right, John? Clarissa, any thoughts on that? And then we'll kind of get into this training. They're starting to train and prepare for Scar himself, not just, they got all of these new nuggets training as well. So you can get into that.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I didn't expect that to go. We're talking about the rivalry between Kat and Starbuck? Or the
No,
rivalry between Starbuck and Scar?
Starbuck and Scar. We'll get into Cat and Starbuck later. That's a
Yeah.
huge can of worms.
I was just like, okay, which conflict are we talking about? So, you wonder, I mean, obviously because of the stories that Starbuck is telling, she's met him before. She knows his strategies. She's, done what it is
Him,
she
right?
teaches.
I just want you to notice that him has a
Him.
gender
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
no, I totally noticed that they were saying him, like even when they were flying. Kat was like, she said, it's a frickin' machine or whatever, or it's a fracking machine. He's not gonna break. I thought that was interesting that she started with it and then switched to he. Like that's later in the episode, but yeah, I did notice that they had been using the term he rather than it, showing that they are starting to embrace. I don't know about embrace, but they're starting to become more comfortable and accustomed to the fact that these are beings with consciousness. They're not just robots. Like they are robots, but they're cyborgs basically. They have AI. They have consciousness. So
And this goes kind of into what I was pointing out earlier with Starbuck and Sharon's conversation about Scar and Starbuck's emotions around Sharon. Go ahead and dive into that because I think that's really deep. Then we'll get into the other stuff. John's going to pull his mustache out, though. I know it.
well, the moment that she was talking to Sharon, they had the guards there, which I suppose is understandable since she had her outburst, and just about wrecked the place when they were trying to take her baby. Which yeah, of course she was that upset. I don't think she's gonna attack Starbuck, but she had the Marine guys in there with her. And the second that she starts saying, it's like you were a sister to me, she goes to reach out to Starbuck, and those guns were on her. It was almost like it even snapped Starbuck into reality again, because I think she was feeling it too. Like she says as much. Like she says that sometimes she forgets who Sharon is, but I think that as Sharon was talking to her and emoting, about her memories of their previous relationship, I think that Starbuck was starting to get caught up in that too until the motion of the
Isn't that a
guns.
different one, though?
What's that?
Isn't that a different Sharon?
Yeah, but they all share the
Elaborate,
same
Bobby.
memories. They share the same memories when they download,
And
right?
memories.
Yeah, but you don't know everything from the other one. How come Scar does? I want to know. How come he comes back exact with a scar and an attitude? Mm-hmm.
Well, they might not
John,
make
does
multiples of the same consciousness of those ones. I wonder. That's a good question, Bobby.
I think it's made clear in the last episode that they have the same memories to that certain point.
Right.
Like to that certain point of rebirth. And then they go their own ways and they do their own things.
Except Scar, who dies and comes back and has learned a lesson and carries on.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. Like they learn those lessons and they come back and they carry on. But what happens to me and what happens to you might be two totally different things, and that would shape the way you or I think about certain things.
Right, but I think sort of what Bobby's getting at is
there's
if you stop and
multiple Sharons, right? But
yeah, and both Sharons were in operation at the same time until one Sharon died and downloaded all of her memories. So then every other Sharon got her memories as well, right? Like that's the idea.
No, once the Cylon is reborn, that's when their life starts essentially.
No, I know, but the Sharon that we have now,
like
and
let's
the
say you
Sharon
and I
that
are.
was a boomer, they were in consciousness simultaneously. they were coexisting simultaneously.
Yeah, but
not
she
like-
doesn't remember shooting Adama.
She
that
doesn't
helped
remember
you.
anything that the other Sharon did.
Right,
Well,
that's my
but-
point.
Up until Caprica, I think she doesn't remember anything. They separated as far as like when Sharon or Boomer left the planet, and that other Sharon stayed there, and they separated their storylines. If that makes sense. So they're kind of two separate people since the beginning of the episode, even though they have the same past memories up until the point of when Sharon and Baltar, and Boomer left Hilo and took Baltar, right, John? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once she
You
left,
guys aren't clearing this up for me.
like once Caprica, once the one we call Sharon left on Caprica, it went back for Hilo.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the Boomer that stayed on the Galactica.
Right. So when they're talking
So they
in the
don't share any
cell,
memories. They don't share any thoughts. They don't share any.
but they do, and Sharon says as much in the scene where she's with Starbuck.
She always talks about remembering things before that.
Okay.
She remembered Terrell, and she sort of remembered him, but it wasn't like she had a relationship with him, but she knew who he was.
No, Starbuck remember. Well, yes, she knew who Terrell was because they knew each other from the academy and such. They were already had known each other. But Starbuck is the one
The
that
other
remembers.
Sharon?
Yeah, Starbuck is
No,
the
not
one that
Starbuck.
remembers. No, but Starbuck is the one that remembers Boomer being with Terrell. She's the one reminiscing about that.
Right, but that's
Boomer's
not what I'm talking about.
Like, think about it.
No,
Like,
she does remember Tyrrell because they've known each other before. Okay, when Caprica happens, that's when they split off. So all the way up until they're grown up, they have the same memories. This other Boomer was made after. Other Sharon was probably made at the same time Boomer left. That's when they split. You can just think of it that way.
Okay. So
she got all the processed memories up until they separated from the planet. Like Boomer left the planet.
when Starbuck's in the cell with her in this episode, she says, "All I see is that kid that spooched her landings day after day. The kid that was fracking the chief and thinking she was getting away with it." And then Sharon says, "Yeah, I remember.
Well, Sharon and Chief had a relationship before.
You were like a big sister."
Well, they had a
No,
relationship before Caprica blew up. That's when Caprica blows up, that's when their timelines separate. So everything before then.
I see
You
what
what I'm
you're
saying?
saying. So all the training and everything
Right.
ahead of time was Boomer on the
Mind
Galactica,
frack.
but this Boomer was still in utero or whatever.
When did they
could have
tell us
been
that?
alive.
Yeah, like I'm not.
I don't think they
No.
told us that.
No, they
Well, then-
do. Or it's at least implied.
Wasn't implied to me.
She doesn't remember the relationship with Tyrrell. She doesn't remember shooting Adama. She doesn't remember anything that happened on the Galactica after they left Caprica. That makes sense. Everything
Like
she's
after
hearing.
the ceremony.
Yeah, after
Okay.
everything went down. That's where their brains
interesting.
split off.
After she saved Hilo.
Because if they are, I'll just give you this. If they are connected, one can be tortured and get information from the other ones, and they don't want that to happen. That's a simple way to look at it.
That makes sense.
We'll get into the training.
Yeah.
How badass is Kat, and just we're not going to talk about the arguments yet, but get into what they're having to train these new nuggets, and how is Starbuck handling this situation. She seems to be diving down a spiral, and once we get into the meat of the subject, we'll get into all of her conflicts, which that makes up the entire episode. John, would you like to start it off with any type of statement? or something to throw at them. Don't throw it too hard, and whatever it is, make sure it's not too heavy and doesn't cause a concussion.
Anyone who's ever shot a firearm, like it's something you have to concentrate and focus on in the first place. I can't even imagine being put in, what's that thing called?
A centrifuge.
A centrifuge with a blindfold and spun around for like 30 seconds and then have to like fire off 6 rounds and try and hit a target. Like it's actually it's really like it's realistic, unrealistic type of thing, but it's like putting you in the mental situation that you would be in that type of situation. And
Yeah, I think they really use those, don't they?
Do what?
Yeah.
They really use those, don't they?
Yeah.
I've never been in a seated one. I've been in the one you stand in,
Mhm.
which is like,
I think they have a park ride with one of those, sort of.
Hashtag
they?
space camp.
oh yeah, let's go to space camp.
Field trip.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Let's start a GoFundMe to go to space camp. We will live stream straight from space camp, and we'll dress up like freaking people from the show, and we'll do
Yeah.
space camp and film it. Come on now.
That'd be so good.
That would be awesome. We got to figure out how to make that happen. Even if
Hmm.
it's a year from now, we got to figure this shit out. Go ahead.
Go ahead and fill out the application. Okay.
That too.
So yeah, that centrifuge thing was super cool. And the shots that Kat made beating Apollo's record, you knew it was coming because there's
beating
always somebody
Starbucks
younger
record.
and hotter, right? So it's going to be
Beating
someone younger and
Starbucks
hotter. Yeah, well, there's always going to be someone younger and hotter. There just is. It's
She's
the
a
way of
jerk.
the
The
jump,
younger, more beautiful queen. Ha.
right? Right? Yeah.
I don't like her.
You don't like
Kat?
Cat?
No.
Kat's a lot like Starbuck was at the beginning of the series, I noticed.
I don't think she's wrong, but I don't like how she handles herself.
No, but that's sort of my point, is like at the beginning of the series, it was Starbuck being the loudmouth hotshot like that.
And she still is.
Well,
yeah,
now
and
she's
talking
high,
down to her
right?
superior officers.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a type, right? They're the same type of people.
Yeah, I
But
don't
that's
like
what's going to ultimately make them the best allies, I think.
I probably don't like Starbuck either, and I just hadn't noticed.
Well, that's why they didn't get along. You know, Starbuck and Cat don't get along because they're cut from
Mirror
the
images. I don't like
Yeah.
myself, so if I saw someone like me, I'd just punch them in the face. I'm joking.
Well, we like you, so we'll stop that fist, mister.
I love y'all. Hashtag fistula.
And on that note, yeah, so training. Starbuck was kind of not on top of things necessarily at all times, not only during training, but during briefings. She obviously hadn't read through Apollo's outline when she was, giving assignments.
She
at the
didn't read the
first-
script too well, huh?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, you got the memo. We all got the memo. Why didn't you get the memo?
Just having a bit of a mental breakdown.
I'm gonna need them TPS reports by 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, she's heartbroken. She's heartbroken. And she's disappointed in herself because she made a promise that she couldn't keep.
Yeah.
Yet.
Are they all
So-
dead there? Or is she just thinking that?
She's assuming. I mean, it was only a matter of time till they all get exterminated or they run out of, anti-radiation meds or whatever.
And nobody will go back.
I don't
can
know. Well,
understand
okay.
why.
What do y'all think's gonna happen with Anders? Anything? Do you think there's no payoff for this, or do you think this is a tool to use for Starbucks' pain? So, because that's a good question. Are they gonna go back to this? Is Starbucks going back to Caprica?
Well, I hope so.
Run with that. There are no wrong answers. I have to say, y'all are right a lot of the time. So be confident.
I kind of think that he's a Cylon. So and Anders may appear at some point. Not necessarily the Anders that we met before. This is Battlestar Galactica, after all.
But not just the guy who she was shagging. Like she made this promise essentially to everybody who was there, stuck on the planet in the resistance movement. Like,
Yeah,
we'll come back for you, and it's not happening.
Starbucks is the last Jedi. If you haven't figured that out,
she's pretty stuck on him for a one-night deal, isn't she?
Well, we saw one night, but we don't know how many nights they were together. But,
hey, you never know. That could have been an amazing night.
I mean, I'm sure that she made the promise to the other people, but they're not the ones she's having flashbacks about when she's in battle. She's thinking about her boyfriend. Like, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, she made a promise to everybody, but what's wrenching in her heart is the promise that she made him. So, yeah.
Well, I keep getting the point that she really wants to be with Apollo, and then she keeps going off with other people. I don't understand her at all.
Apollo's just a sexual object. You haven't figured that out?
I have to say that I understand her all too well. So
cold-blooded.
No, I'm just saying that it's not. It's one of those things where you can be stuck, where you know that somebody is better for you, and then there's somebody who you long for. Right? I mean, there's some people in the world that we know are great. Like, when you're together, it's great, but in the long run, you know that they're not good for you. And
if you can't be with the one you want, love the one you're with.
Yeah, right? So I think in some ways she worries that she's using Apollo as a replacement for his brother, who she was in love with so long, not so long ago. Like, a year hasn't even passed.
Apollo's pretty popular too, huh?
Yeah, he seems to be getting around also.
Well, I mean, getting around to paying the women he's sleeping with.
Boom.
But he's keeping it from getting in the way of his work, and she's not. Although I thought it was,
he wanted to die.
Yeah. It's true. You're
Good
right.
point,
It's
Bobby.
true. I thought it was interesting that she was a beer drinker and that Apollo always has hard liquor. Always. You ever notice that? I love how that is sort of like.
I didn't notice they had beer until this episode.
They were sharing a pitcher of beer and a bottle.
But you'll only see her drinking the beer in that scene and him drinking from the bottle, and then he passes her the bottle, but you don't see him drink any beer.
I think only the top stick can drink out of that stein, right, John?
Yes.
I think that's like the main cup right there. And I'll be right back in just a second.
Well, what's a stick?
The top pilot.
Yeah. Top Gun.
Like that's what that stein.
The shot was tequila, by the way. Maybe there was hidden meaning in this episode, Mackenzie says.
I think Mackenzie's talking about her own shots.
Oh, is she not talking about the show shots?
Tequila's not very good.
It is if it's made well. It's a good reposado.
I've had good tequila before. It's so smooth.
I don't really like it.
Oh, I like it.
But tequila is something I don't do shots of. I like to sit and sip and enjoy very slowly.
Again, that depends on the tequila. Some tequila you shoot.
If it's something you shoot, I just don't drink it.
There you go.
I certainly don't want to worm in it.
Actually, everybody thinks I'm this huge drunk. I did my first shot in like years yesterday. Our chef, I took him out, and I had a SoCo and lime, which used to be my shot of choice, but it's been quite a while.
I don't remember the last time I had a shot. Anyway.
Sasa said there was hidden meaning in this episode because she had
Yeah.
some tequila. Oh.
A hidden meaning in liquor portion of the episode?
Sure. Sasa's drunk. It's all good. Now we can get into a little bit more, and John, don't worry, we'll have you come back and ask them some questions in just a little bit. But you've kind of touched on Apollo. Let's get in a little bit more with what's going on with Kat, and also let's talk. Adama and Rosalind had a little scene, and we find out that they're mining, and there seems to be a delay. What do you think are these implications later? Now, we've seen the fight and what happens there. Do you want to talk about any of the implications that comes with them having to, push 8 more days for mining here?
Well, I was wondering, did they even mention? I watched it a few times, and did they even mention how long they'd already been there? Like, you get the impression they've been there a while.
They've been there since they had when they found the water. This is a while back. John, whenever you come back, maybe you can help me out with that. But whenever they stopped last, when they found a Cylon deposit, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Well, I mean, they mentioned that it's, they find it in this
It's been a
debris
good,
field.
maybe a month almost, probably.
Right. So another 6 days is, that's a significant amount of time and resources that's gone to protecting this mining operation. Like, obviously, because Rosalind mentions that they've already got enough resources and they've built another fighter already on the Pegasus. That makes you go, okay, well, I mean, I can understand you need resources, and they're lucky that they have a mining ship. Like, what if in the whole fleet, in all the fleets, they didn't have any mining ship or any people that operated mining ships, So I can understand her desire to want to take that extra time. Like she said, they have a chance to replenish their losses. So the question is how many losses are there going to be trying to acquire these resources?
That's a good point. And, we've got a lot of nuggets here that are needing to be retrained. And to the point earlier with Scar, Kat makes this point that they die and they have to start over from scratch retraining people. But the Cylon Raiders don't. Now, the resurrection ship's gone. I want y'all to touch on a little bit of that. And it makes... How smart are the Raiders now? They even know that the resurrection ship's gone, so they can't come back. So they're actually playing even a smarter game here. They're not being as kamikaze as we've seen them in earlier episodes.
They talk about how they're like animals, but what kind of consciousness could that necessarily be? Like, are we talking about like battle dolphins?
It's probably about animal instincts. They must survive.
Lasers.
With freaking laser beams on their head.
Sharks with laser beams.
Freaking laser beams.
Freaking laser beams. Fracking laser beams. So, yeah,
Cracking tissues.
that's something I sort of agonized over, like, was the degree of consciousness. Like, yeah, there's a um Sharon mentions that they will, they're traumatized by the previous deaths and that they will remember when they come back. So at this point, not only are they angry and bitter about their previous deaths, but they know that they're not going to survive the next time they die. So the stakes are higher. So that would imply almost a consciousness that we might not associate with animals, but it's not quite at the same level as people from the sounds of it. So
maybe elephants and dolphins may be a nice little comparison you had there because they are intelligent. Especially elephants can recognize themselves in a mirror. One of the few creatures on the planet that have that much self-awareness, and it's very oh my gosh, if you just watch a documentary on how smart elephants are, you'll definitely be against the killing of any type of elephants, even if you
I love
are an avid
elephants.
hunter, because they are so smart.
Yeah, they recognize the bones of their family members after they've died.
Yeah, isn't that cool? But weird.
Amazing.
You see that
John,
baby one that hugs the girl and knocks her on the ground. It's so cute.
oh.
Stupid Facebook video.
Let's not get sad, Bobby. Let's not get sad.
No, it's cute. It's a baby elephant.
You
Girl
want to look up
petting the
cute
baby
YouTube
elephant.
videos?
Yeah, it's a Facebook video.
Well,
Okay.
I think maybe a way that Sharon should have put it, not so much that they're animal, but they're more primal. they're more primal. Like, but they reason. And obviously Scar reasons. That's why he's like, yeah, hey, I'm gonna take out what I can. I'm gonna pick them off one by one, and I'm not just gonna rush right in. And yeah, animal is such a broad adjective to use to describe something.
Right?
I think more what she's saying is that they're more primal. They don't have, they don't sit and wonder about what they're going to wear that day. Like,
No, their goal is to survive.
Doro, or
That's
Maybe
what
like
animals do.
apes or chimpanzees or something like that. Sort of something, yeah. More advanced species of animal. It's not quite human, but not just animal working on
Like
instinct.
a pack of tuna with laser beams.
With fracking laser beams.
Well, this goes back to the fight with Scar, right? And then it's a hell of a fight, and you see how smart he is. Starbuck uses everything she's got, and she can't kill him. She would have ended up killing herself in the opportunity. And then Cat ends up getting the glory here. And I think it's well deserved. I really like Kat. I know she annoyed you, but she semi-annoyed me because she is playing a double standard here when she was so freaking whacked out on them stems. I mean, Starbuck does have a point, but Kat is badass. And in this
Yeah, I
situation,
didn't say she was wrong.
yeah, no, I mean, in
Didn't
this
handle it right.
situation, that's kind of what you want. You want someone that's that fucking confident. Pardon my French, but you want someone like that. That's another Starbuck in your fleet, and you might not agree with everything they do, but you agree with those results, and that's what really matters here.
Well,
As long as they're not hurting people, right? Not killing people like Admiral Bitch.
what did Starbucks say she looks for in a pilot?
Exactly that. Go, Jills. I got to remember that line off the top of your head. What's homework for? I'm kidding.
That's wait, it might be on my computer notes, though. I'm pretty sure it's in my paper notes. Which
There you go. Put them nerd glasses on. Take the regular glasses off and put the Superman nerd glasses on.
Wait, just a moment.
Oh, does she really have some? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be good. Just wait. What's up, Catherine Harding? How's it going? We do have a nanoline kit tonight, but some people need to show up so they can see this damn thing because they need to see all the glory that is Julianne and 89 and Bobby's baby I don't know if that's a good way to put it, is it, Bobby, to call it your baby?
Nope.
It is a Nanolon testing kit, so I don't
I am
know.
Nanolon free.
Yes, I love that's the that's the Cylon Johns and Jill's tooting and tin glasses right there. Clarissa. They match perfectly. And that is still coming. We have not forgot about that, by the way. So Catherine, Al, Bubba, it's still happening. Don't you think don't you go running away on us. Much love. Mwah. Y'all can't see me
Boy.
kissing you because that's John's thing. John, let me touch you there. By the way, Clarissa, what the hell were we talking about? Bring me back. Oh yeah, Cat's badassedness. And what
Yes.
does Starbuck look for in a pilot?
She looks for. I have it right here in my notes. She looks for. I can tell you that one of them is someone crazy enough to follow me into battle. And gosh, how many folders do I have?
Well, one,
Please come back.
the part is crazy, right? Crazy enough to follow her into battle.
Yeah,
That's
crazy
one
enough
big
to
point.
follow into her battle. Coordination and was it a good shot or something like that?
I can't remember. I'm relying on you because y'all are supposed to do the homework and John's supposed to chime in sometime. But he's been really like he is on point today with like trolling me.
Which
Yeah, he's
episode
been
is it that she says that?
Coordination, good reflexes,
Coordination, that's what it was. Good
the
reflexes and
ability
crazy
to
enough to follow
adapt
me into battle.
to physical strain, and most importantly, someone who's crazy enough to follow me into battle.
Yeah.
trying to be crazy, but not that crazy.
Johnny B. Brat.
You know, I
Oh,
love you,
it's the
Bobby.
episode where right. It's the episode where they're being interviewed by Xena, the warrior princess.
Yeah, so that episode there. Put your glasses up while you're saying that too.
Yeah, I found it was the Lucy Lawless episode. And she's also Xena.
Xena came in doing a
No, here's a
backflip.
teaser for you. Adama said it. Don't worry, Chief. I'm sure you'll see her again.
They were talking about a Cylon.
It was before.
It was when Boomer was shot. Right? When Callie shot Boomer.
Correct. No, I was specifically talking about Lucy Lawless. Though.
Oh.
Don't worry, Chief. I'm sure you'll see her again.
Come
He
on,
said
who the
that to
hell
Lucy
Chiefs want
Lawless?
to see? Oh my goodness, he said it to Chief. Adama says it to Chief. I don't know what John's doing to you here. But
I don't
Adama
know
tells
either.
Chief, don't worry, you'll see her again, Chief. Chief
Trolling.
is Tyrrell.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trolling.
And talking about the only person that Chief would give a shit about seeing again after someone got killed. You just turned yellow.
Oh no, I was actually
Clarissa.
talking about Lucy
I
Lawless.
just turned yellow.
Yeah, it just got yellow in there. You just
Oh,
went straight up
just a minute.
Caprica filter.
There. It's because
It's
I'd closed
Clarissa.
I'd closed the window on my computer, and of course, blue light comes from a computer screen, so I went more yellow when I went to a black
Okay.
screen.
You're okay in yellow, don't worry.
Basic light and color theory. That's all.
John Saint be trolling, Bobby. That's good.
That was awesome. Well done. Bobby. No Lanolons.
Okay, so Top Gun, Starbuck, blah blah blah. Okay, so did you talk about the love triangle with Apollo? what's going on with Apollo and Starbuck, right? You touched on it a little bit with the Anders, but we have them in the end as well. And Starbuck's, popping out some good bench press there. I think them pecs are getting swole up, wouldn't you say so, John? John? Don't leave me hanging, asshat.
Oh yeah, no. Starbucks kind of going back into the original mood that we saw her in when the show started.
I don't think John heard what I said about her swollen pecs. Swollen pecs. Hashtag swollen pecs.
Her swollen mute.
She's going kind of back into the state that we saw her when the show started. Like, it's like, I just work out because I can't think about anything. I mean, that's kind of what this whole episode's about, is about her not, like, that's why I think the whole flash forward thing works so well. Is she going to pull that ship away? Like, does she even give a crap? Like, that's an intense moment. Yeah, and you really wonder. Like, the first time you watch this, you really wonder. You're like, is she gonna pull? Because she even says she's like, come on, one of us is gonna have to pull away, and it's not gonna be me. But,
You mother fracker.
Yeah.
And the whole time, yeah, she's thinking about Anders the whole time, so you're thinking when it does come to the point that she does, when it comes to a head and she has to decide and she pulls away, I think it's sort of when she realizes that she has something to live for, that there's somebody in the universe that she loves and wants to get back to, and that if she's going to get what she wants, she has to do what it takes. So she gave up the kill. She gave up that moment. As for her relationship with Apollo and how that relates, I think I think she does have an attraction and a love to Apollo, but it wasn't realized. And then she met someone else where it was realized. And it's like John was saying before, she's not at the point right now where if she can't be with the one she loves, she'll just love the one she's with. She's not there, She wants the man she loves. And as much as she cares about Apollo, she's got somebody who is in her heart and has been clear with her about his regard for her. Because, Apollo, you can say what you want about how she's dealing with the whole thing with Apollo, but it's not like Apollo has been forthcoming and saying, listen, I have feelings for you. He's not. So what are you going to do?
Well, didn't he tell her
I
he loved
think I
her?
love you, but what am I? Oh, I'll stop.
Well, it was pretty mature of her to do that. You don't usually see her make the right choice. She's good at her job, but as for her letting go of that, she doesn't usually. She's on it. She's all about her usually. That was a good choice. Giving up her cup. Giving up her Stein.
Yeah, it was a good choice, I think. I think that it was a good choice because a torch needs to be passed in order for people to think that they could be the next one to have it. And
Yeah, that
inspires them, right?
Great point.
That was like a life-changing moment for her.
Yeah, agreed.
She grew up a little right then.
And I think that the humility that Starbuck finds in that series of events is important for her personal growth. It's not just about the men that she loves, but it's about her work.
Well, what about
her
the face punch, the face to fist style that Starbuck used on Kat?
Didn't she punch Ty at the beginning of the series or something?
Aye.
Oh yeah, she's getting it back now.
Yeah.
Well, and she was called Ty by Kat.
But she's on the other side of the coin, right? She can't deny that Kat's a lot like her.
Yeah, but Kat looked like she was scared to death after she did it. When Starbuck did it, she was ready to do it some more.
Well, I don't think she was scared. I didn't get the impression she was scared when Starbuck was there. I think that when they got walked in on by Apollo, and she was like, because she just struck a superior officer.
Yeah.
And he put it together. She's looking at who knows how long in the brig, and then being like allowed out for shifts, and then right back to the brig for God knows how long, right?
Shit, Dad walked in the room.
Right? And notice because the first thing that she does is she hides her fist behind her back, the one that she hit Starbuck with. Because she's got
maybe that's why I
Starbuck's
thought she
blood on
looks
it.
nervous.
Yeah, because she's hiding
Strength.
that her hand has blood on it from hitting Starbuck.
Do you think she has a nanolon flare up?
Probably. Can cause a nasty rash.
Yeah, I think they get flares every 3 days. And every 33rd day, it's really damn bad. Only John got that. He's dying. John, do you have any questions for them? This is a really short, straightforward episode, but I think they may have missed a couple of things. So if you got something for them, shoot it at them before we get into the stuff. We got about 30 minutes at least, so let's see if we can fill it this time. Maybe Sasa will come on here and be able to give her ranking and Cylons at least. Pressure, Sasa, pressure. Drink another shot of tequila and try to come slur your Cylons on here.
Did it move anybody emotionally when Starbucks said, "I'm hung up on a dead guy"?
Yeah, because she's saying dead guy, but she still has hope.
But she doesn't. I'm like that whole thing with Lee when she's like, I just wanted a good leg. Like, and Lee's going in this emotional spot, which we saw a lot of allusion to in the last episode.
We learn early in the series that Starbuck is a religious person, that she's somebody who has faith and has been raised to have hope. And regardless of how abusive the environment was that she was as she grew up in, she still carries that faith and she still carries the hope. It's ingrained in her. She says that she's hung up on a dead guy at the time. And the reason that she agonizes over it isn't because she's resigned to it. It's because she has hope and she resents that she still has hope because she thinks that she's being stupid for still having hope. That is why it upsets her so much. If she had lost her faith altogether, she would just be generally bitter, you know, kind of angry person. But overall, I mean, it bothers her so much, I think, because she is hopeful and she's torturing herself over the fact that she's being hopeful. When you're a hopeful person, I consider myself to be a hopeful person, and you go through a really traumatic situation that saddens you so much and drags you down so much, and you catch yourself hoping for things, you'll chastise yourself for it. And I think that's what she's doing. I really do. I think she's beating herself up because she knows that she still has feelings. She just is mad at herself for doing it. But I don't think she's lost hope. I think she's just angry that she has any to begin with and is lying about it because people do that. They don't always feel the things that they say they feel.
Do you think she gives good advice? Bobby and Clarissa, please. Do you think she gives good advice to the Nuggets?
You want to take this one, Bobby? Starbuck.
In general, I suppose, but obviously it didn't work. So no, no.
Or you know, like
It's hard to answer because on a normal thing, she probably gave him the right advice.
like Starbucks method seemed to be the kick in the ass, whereas Cat seemed to be like a pat on the ass. And either way, both kids die. But do you think
Sometimes you gotta have that good bedside manner. She don't have it. It's like a doctor telling you, you know, you're either gonna die or you're gonna die. We can't help you. Too bad for you. Where a nurse will come in and say, "Ah, you know."
So does that play into her giving the nugget basically those instructions that made him kill himself?
Yeah, she like sent him on a suicide mission, but she didn't know it was going to be like that.
Right. And I mean, and who was it he was on with? Was it JoJo or was it?
Was
Yeah, it's JoJo. Well,
JoJo.
JoJo's the one that dies.
They both
Right.
Yeah, and then I'm trying Snake. The Snake's the other one. There you go.
Right. But he goes out, and when Kat stops him, and her advice is do what he tells you to do, and you'll be fine. He's one of our most, he's one of our most experienced fighters, I mean, and he chose to listen to Starbuck. So, I mean, he was given advice from both of them. He made his choice who he listened to. Obviously, he listened to Starbuck because she was the superior officer, but also, like she said, and like Bobby said, she gave the advice that would have been typical advice to give. These were extenuating circumstances. But, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can tell the future.
Except
they
for
didn't
the
know they'd be
Cylon.
coming in because they were out of fuel.
Yeah, because
Right.
it all happened before.
Yeah,
And
so
it'll
they know
all
what's
happen
gonna
again.
happen.
Damn Cylons know what's going to happen.
Don't fuck it up next
Or at
time.
least I think they do.
Who thinks they do?
I said at least the Cylons think they know what's going to happen.
What that
Oh.
trolliness? John, you got one more good trolley type question for them before we ask them what their final thoughts on this episode? And I make a bunch of racket in the background because I got some family over, so don't mind me.
Bring 'em on!
Okay, so
Yeah, but-
I'm not a fan of montages in television shows, but I liked the montage that goes through Starbuck's head when she's facing off against Scar. Did anybody else have any thoughts about that?
Like her memories on Caprica?
Yeah, her memories of Caprica and just like her memories in general.
Well, I mean, she was remembering her boyfriend. Every girl does that. Well, every girl that has boyfriends.
Oh, y'all didn't hear any background noise? Man, I got a good mic. Yeti, give me some money. Yeti Blue. Go
Those
ahead.
are expensive. I saw them today.
Oh, I got mine on sale for $49.
What is it?
It's a Yeti Blue. They're like $130. It's a USB mic. It's not top of the line, but it is for this. It's like one of the higher end USB mics.
Right.
I don't have like a whole sound system, which I wish I had, but this one's really good, and I found it on sale, and I matched the price for this crazy sale that was at another store. So I got really lucky. I probably would have got a snowball or something.
So you
can't
think we
afford
should
much.
get them up for promotion too?
Yeah. Starbucks and
Starbucks coffee,
Yeti.
Yeti microphones, liqueur scotch, and scrubbing bubbles.
Oh yeah, they do.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I used to love that commercial.
Who doesn't love that commercial?
Everybody loves scrubbing bubbles. You don't got, you don't have to scrub.
We even have Canadian scrubbing bubbles. I mean, come on.
Ooh. I don't ever see that commercial anymore, though. They should put it on.
Commercials have gotten more into like hemorrhoid medications and boner medications, and then like lawsuits. That's all you see on commercials
last-
anymore.
The
The
last good
gangrene of the
commercial
genitals.
I saw was the Geico commercial with the squirrels. Did you see that?
Aw, poor squirrels. And you're talking about the squirrels today in your tree. They were getting sad here.
I
Do you
know.
think they were Cylon squirrels? And would that make you feel better if they were?
Yes. Clarissa,
How's
look
that
up
be
the
the thing?
Geico squirrel commercial someday,
Okay,
and
I will.
you will see. I absolutely love it.
It sounds adorable and funny at the same time because Geico
It's
always
funny.
does funny commercials.
Geico is a car insurance.
Yeah, we get those commercials here too, with the
Oh, then
gecko.
you should have seen that one. Yeah,
I
they're not
don't
so
have
funny with the
TV.
gecko. Oh, really?
Oh, it like comes up right away. Geico squirrel commercial.
So, with
hilarious.
I'm
that,
sure if I told my mom, she'd know exactly what I was talking about.
be sure to email John at vampiresrus6900 at suckit.com.
Suckit.com.
I will
Did
not.
somebody say vampire?
Oh, awesome.
That vampire has purple hair.
I know. I love
Um,
Playmobil, and it's a keychain.
Nice.
John, before we get into the predictions and such, would you like to make some announcements about your vacation, what's going on with the channel? And yes, we will be dropping a video next week with everybody, hopefully, but if not, we're still going to have a good video. I
Yes.
will be making a little teaser about some of the stuff for the giveaways as well. And yes, I won't give away too much, Bobby, as far as that's going. But you know, as far as I'm gonna wait to show off some stuff till we have a few more people. Other than that, yeah, give us our announcements, good sir. And I think we might start to do this every week because we need to get some news on the BSG film coming out.
Yeah, Johnny and I are going to be doing our regular early week review where we talk a little more in depth about this more shortly. Just Johnny and I about this episode. That'll be coming up next Friday. We will not be going over an episode because I will be. I'm on holiday next week. I will be going to Ice and Fire Con. And I am sure all the Cylons who are sitting in this room right now and the two who couldn't make it tonight, one because of 6 kids and one because of tequila, might be receiving things that I find there.
Big
but
tease.
The next episode is a big, big, big one. So if you can hold yourselves until we have our little
Hashtag hold yourselves.
a half hour next Friday while I'm on holiday. Wait to watch it, but if you can't, that's understandable. But
Well, I probably could have until you said that.
yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Such
It's
teases.
a bomb. That's what I
This is
do.
tremendous.
That's what I do.
Terry T says she's holding herself now. Hashtag hold yourself.
Way to think about.
Okay,
you, I
wait a
hold
minute.
Myself.
Let me get this straight. You don't want us to watch the next episode?
Not until after next Friday around 9 o'clock.
Next
Bombs in the
Friday.
chat, Catherine Harding.
Okay, so that means the next time you see me, you will all be catching me from Vancouver, British Columbia, the day
Hey.
before I fly out of Canada. And
You got to get us a
I
shot
will
of a
be-
moose.
A moose. I'm not really going through moose country
It's
between
a
where I
moose.
live.
It's a
and
moose.
I might
Yeah.
see an elk, but I don't. There aren't really any moose. I have to go further north.
Go get
I'm
me some
staying in the
caribou
south of the
pee.
province, so
But
We
Johnny
have
and I
moose
have some
here.
awesome stuff that are going to be coming out for people that Bobby and Julianne89 have made and created. And they're going to be Ivig J's, because there's a certain word we're not allowed to use. But our Red Sox fan, Catherine Harding, and
Bubba Nusky. I mean, Bubba Husky.
Bubba Nusky. You have been redubbed, my friend.
Bubba's gonna actually get it at Con of Thrones while we live stream a BSG live stream.
Oh, nice.
So he's gonna come on live.
Nice.
Yeah, now Johnny and I will be there. Clarissa, you said you're not going to be able to make it.
Mackenzie will be there.
Mackenzie will be there.
Yeah. Oh wait, next. Which night?
Amy's going to. No, we're talking about Con of Thrones.
Oh, Con of Thrones.
Because we're going to do a Battlestar episode.
Oh well.
Yeah, we're gonna dress up like
here.
Cylon Centurions and just like bombard the Game of Thrones people and be the only, just be the odd ugly ducklings of the con.
For the episode, Johnny and I will be Centurions, and Mackenzie can be number 6.
I can make a good Leoben.
Hmm.
I'm not going to any
Interesting.
cons.
Yes.
I hope Amy can make it.
Yeah, Amy's trying her hardest. I'm actually trying to help her figure out the logistics because I work right by an international airport. So I'm trying to help her figure out the logistics if she wants to get over here. It would actually be significantly cheaper to fly here where I live and ride with me down to Nashville than it would be to fly straight into Nashville, because Nashville is like one of the most expensive airports in the country to fly into.
I'll keep that in mind. Besides, it'd be way more fun to go to Ohio. Go see you. Go meet the guys from Blind Wave. You know, geekdom. Aren't the normies out there too, or something?
Normies? What the hell is a normie? Screw them guys.
But the one last thing I want to ask everybody about this episode is our main characters. Like, not necessarily Dom and Rosalind, because they don't feature much in this, but
No.
Apollo, Starbuck, and Kat. Have your thoughts and feelings changed about them at all?
No, I'm glad the Cat is getting her act together and then she's realizing her potential. I think that I still think the same as Starbuck as I always did. Like, she's damaged. And sometimes she wears it and sometimes she doesn't. But she just does her best and keeps going. And I think that last episode was probably a more transformative episode for how I thought about Apollo than this one is. So as to my opinion before this episode and after this episode, no, it's about the same for Apollo for me.
Good. Bobby?
What? Did I like it?
No. You have your thoughts about, as characters, about Kat, Starbuck, and Apollo changed at all after this episode?
No, they're the same. They just had they're both pretty bitchy this this episode. You could tell they're alike, but yeah, I don't really like them. I don't like their attitudes.
I keep distracting Bobby too, so it's my fault, John.
All right. So, ladies, rankings, predictions, and silence.
I'm going to give it 8 punching his superior officers in the face. And predictions, I think that Kat and Starbuck are going to turn into a superstar Cylon killing team. They'll be like tag teaming and they'll have like spandex jumpsuits and everything. It'll be awesome. Body slam.
Oh, I was thinking parachute pants, but I like the spandex too.
No, spandex. Double
If they think
clothesliner.
alike.
The whole kit and caboodle. Yeah, I think they're going to turn into a dynamic fighting team. I think they're going through growing pains, and I think it's all going to come together. I think they're going to be fantastic together. And I also still think that Anders is a Cylon. I mean, we talked about that really briefly before. I kind of get the impression that when Starbucks sees him again, it's not going to be the same Anders that she met before. She's not going to know it. He's going to have some story, but I think it'll be a Cylon Anders. And my other two, I still think Tyril's a Cylon. I don't know why. I'm kind of just like, he's a machine guy. A machine would be a machine guy. So there's that, and then
a gearhead and a gear lover, huh?
right, and yeah, after that last episode, I'm really starting to think that Baltar
Is God.
Bobby, you're killing me with that. That's good. I want you to expand on that. But Mackenzie L. Burns is killing me with this drunk texting. So she keeps not finishing a sentence. It's like Anders is still alive.
blank.
And then there's a couple more of these. Let me see if I can point these out.
Oh, Terry.
Cat is are trying ? Oh, Mackenzie, I wish you were on the channel, Sasa, because we would be having such a fun time. Starbuck and Kay annoyed me. It was Kay. I love it. I love it. Yeah, tequila shots, and she's had how much out? She's had so much alcohol.
And hey, alcohol and family.
It's
around.
Awesome. She's had 3 different types of liquor, I believe.
Family creates alcoholism. That's what families do. If I had no family, I would be sober as a judge. All the time.
Well, my family wasn't officially. They're pretty much teetotal. The only time I ever saw one was
I'm saying
growing up
what
was
they
like
make
Christmas.
you do.
What's that?
I'm saying what they make you do.
Yeah. No, I mean, there wasn't even booze in the house.
Hashtag what they make you do.
All right.
With the crazy eyes.
It was Baltar Anders, and who's your third?
Tyrell.
Tyrell. Okay,
Because he's the machine man.
And Bobby, you say Baltar is God. Expand on that a little bit if you can. At least a couple of sentences will be just fine. I know you have few words, but they're very impactful. Don't sell yourself short. You awesome person. You go for it.
Well, he's really smart, and he's thoughtful at times when he's not thinking about himself. Isn't he? But I think I don't know if he seems to be the one that would do, I don't know. I get the feeling that they keep repeating it over and over and over until they can get the right solution, like like they do in NASA. They do that crazy stuff, the simulations. And that's how I see this.
Oh.
Because they did it all before, they're going to do it again, and they're switching spots. Why? Because somebody's not doing something right. They're making bad choices. So that's the craziness I have in my head.
John's moved to pulling his eyelashes out now, so you're doing good, Bobby.
And Baltar is with the main, I don't know, what is 6 now? She says she's an angel.
Again.
And who is she with? Yeah. And who does she want to be right with? Baltar. Why Baltar? Because he's God.
Interesting.
Bobby, I have to
Or
say, I like
nuts,
your
but
thinking. You could be right. You could be wrong. But
That's because I would totally publish it.
Now you've got me thinking about like the fallen angels from heaven and what kind of parallels there could be. Oh. Now I have to think again.
Well,
Damn
you
it.
like to do that.
well, see, this is perfect
doing too
because
much.
next week we'll be doing it. I'm pretty sure I can run y'all through OBS, so we can do a podcast format through Hangouts, and I'll just record it through OBS. And
Oh, I thought you
you
wanted
can get some of this out.
9:00 on Friday night when I'm drunk with Sly and Con.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna
Look how
lie.
stupid Con
I'll
would really be.
talk to you about what we talked about before that, but afterwards. But damn it, what was I gonna say? Either way, y'all run with that when we get on the next one. Is basically what I mean. Yeah, Bobby, I like where you're going. You got a good mind there, my kind of mind. So with that, who are your Cylons then?
Billy. Callie. Tammy. Which none existed today.
Yeah, we haven't seen Cammy since the opener.
I have hopes.
You have hope? Okay.
I'm a hopeful person, just like Clarissa.
It's good to be hopeful.
That's
Even
right.
though we beat ourselves up about it sometimes because it's like, why are you being so dumb and hoping for things? But then you're like, because it's better. That's why.
Come on, she was a cute little kid. All she wanted was pie with her parents.
I know.
They left her there
All
to
she
blow
wanted.
up. That's all she wanted.
The chicken pie, the other Cylon.
So, la 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 la.
If they got chicken pie, silence, they got issues.
That's interesting. What is served in the mess hall on a Cylon ship?
I would say the Norwegian rat is a specialty.
I'd imagine for the human models just like regular food.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's like, what's the favorite? Are they all like, ooh, chicken salad today? Or, is it just like, oh, look, we're having like nutrient combination number 474?
No,
They get hungry, but do they care what they eat?
Okay. If I can throw in my opinion on this one, I think they're too humanized to eat like something like that. I think they'd be like, oh, hey, it's Stir Friday. Like, fuck yeah, it's Stir Friday.
Oh my gosh, every Friday should be Stir Friday.
They make everything from algae, a high protein algae, though.
Thank you. I'm glad you got that.
And I'm not having fun with Stir Friday, and that's that worked out for Cyril quite well, but Lana ended up banging Archer again, so it doesn't really matter.
What the hell?
Oh, Archer.
I don't watch that.
Holy shit snacks.
Okay, on the Cylon base stars, like it's a reveal. Friday is Stir Friday. That's what they have.
Spoiler alert.
Of all the information you could give us.
What would you rank the episode, Bobby?
I don't know. 7.
7. Whoa. See, I told you, Johnny, a lot of people really don't care for this episode.
Yeah, no, I've been complaining about it this whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And it had nothing to do with the time thing of going back and forth. It was just...
Well, I guess
what are they doing with it? They're showing these girls don't get along. They did show The only thing I got out of it was that Starbucks stepped it up a notch. She did something mature. She played in a team. She didn't keep it, she didn't go solo. She usually is all about herself. Oh, I was happy to
Um,
see that.
That's a fair point. You're entitled to your opinion. I know I'm being an ass when I say it like that,
Don't be
but
an ass to me.
uh,
I'll give it
I
back.
would say it gives us a little bit of depth and to Starbucks' character. You could argue that it's slightly sloppy, but I would still give it 8.5 slimy scar sarcophagi. And
Oh,
I'm going crazy here, right?
What
You
is
like
that? Now you got to tell me what that is.
a sarcophagus, whatever.
That's got
It's
something
kind
to
of
do
in the
with
same
mummies.
general area. It's just,
yeah,
like
like what?
saying it
Like
nice.
they encase mummies in
Okay.
ancient Egypt.
Yeah, I
Sarcophagi
told
would
you
be like more
I
than
ain't no
one, right,
damn
John?
rocket scientist like you guys are.
Oh, well,
No,
And
but Bobby, you're a genius. That's all I'll say. John, what did you rank it? And did you rank it, Clarissa?
I
You
did.
did, didn't you?
I gave
Yeah,
it
you did.
8 punching a superior
That's
officers
it.
in the
Yeah,
face.
it made me laugh. John, did you get to rank it yet?
I give it 9.75 backstory bonanzas.
Backstory bonanzas. That's an underutilized term, bonanzas, honestly. It gets a lot of bad rap with the old show. But
I
I
kind of like that old show.
this is personally one of my favorite episodes of this entire season.
You said that. I don't get it.
I do understand why a lot of people don't like it. I think it's great. I like how it's straightforward. I like how it's even though
Tell us really why you like it.
it's straightforward. It's one storyline. And I think that's well done. And I think a lot of our major characters have so much development in this episode.
hmm.
I think
Character
you learn
development.
a lot about Starbuck. I think you learn a lot about Apollo. I think you learn a lot about Kat.
I don't think we learned much about Apollo here.
Oh, I think you do. Not as much as last episode.
Nope, Sasa, we didn't get your rating twice. I purposefully overlooked it because I was trying to make you come on the panel, but you're just insufferable right now. So let me go back up and I'm kidding. So she gives it. Her Cylons are Ty, Ellen, and Gata, the same,
Okay.
and I think she gives it 8 omniscience omissions. I think that's what she's trying to say there.
Okay.
Would that be an onomatopoeia? Would it pee on you?
Yes, yes, it would.
Yep. It is. Nice
no.
one, Sasa.
Yeah, that would be an onomatopoeia. That would be
Right, because if it was,
It's funny trying to
if it
hear
was
us say that
consonants,
word.
it would be alliteration. But it's onomatopoeia when it's vowels.
I have a degree in this shit, or I'm pretty close to one anyway.
I kind
I
of like
will-
this Patty Sasa persona here.
Me too.
Yeah. We've seen her a couple of times like that. She's telling John to shut up and stuff. Maybe we'll see her soon. With that, Clarissa, where can we find your page? Don't you do stuff? You make some kind of soaps out of gerbil fat or something. I can't remember what it is. Let us know.
I do. I will warn everybody that I'm leaving the week after next, so I will be on hiatus. But when I come back in the summer, check out my Facebook page for Clara T Bath and Body, and let me know if there's something you like, or if there's something that you don't see that I make. Ask if I can make it. So check me out on Facebook under Clara T. That's CLAR capital A capital T Bath and Body, or you can find me under Clarissa Thompson for my personal Facebook page. You can see me on Geek Chat 1. You will occasionally see me on Episode Club with Mackenzie L. Burns, who couldn't be with us tonight.
Yeah, He'll be on
Hopefully it
Ninners
will-
of Thrones, I think, one of these weeks coming up soon. Maybe I don't know if you're signed in there or if you'll be back in time, but I think you're tentative on one of those. So we'll see what happens with that shit.
You do have
No
him
pressure.
earlier, so when I'm in Britain, that's definitely a possibility. Because I will be in Britain for the final 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. So
We will see though. So no
Yeah.
pressure, but you
That's
got
so
a spot if you
cool.
want it, my friend.
but if you're doing them at noon, that's supper time there, so it should be fine.
Sweet. Well, go check that out. Her link is in the descriptions. Bobby, handmade by Bobby. Fantastic. You've seen her stuff. It is amazing. Hold on, let me show you a little bit of it here. I just have a fantastic Maester's Nook. I can make all kinds. It's Bobby's drug kit, is what I call it, right? John, unmute and say something so they can see your awesome book that Bobby got you.
This is a proper journal, Battlestar journal. Even the corners are cut. This is fucking awesome. The pages have the corners cut. Bobby, I'm commissioning you for like 90 of these.
That's a lot of
That's a lot
books.
of work for you, but it's also a lot of money for you. So hey.
All those books are going to be replaced with the Battlestar books behind him. You won't see anything but Bobby's books behind him.
No, this is awesome. And these are actually from here on out what I'm using for my notes for every episode.
Awesome.
Amazing.
And I'm going to
Very happy you like them.
I don't just I'm not sleep with them.
Well, don't get weird, John. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe,
I said sleep,
maybe
you dirty fuck.
I
long
better
as
find a
Jones friends
softer
in the morning.
material.
Bobby's link is in the description. Handmade by Bobby. You definitely have to check it out. She's wonderful, and she gets it to you on her own time, but it's fantastic. She will tell you straight up. She's going to make it personally for you. Don't be rushing her because you cannot rush genius. She is awesome.
I
And
don't think you can rush 90 Cylon books either.
no, but you do put love and care into it, and you can't put a time limit on that. And that's a real key important thing. If you want something quality and made with heart, you have to wait just a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to wait forever on it. But, Bobby does amazing work. And yeah, she needs way more recognition because it's just fantastic. Everything you see back here, besides these dopey books I have, is by Bobby. And a Dunder Mifflin cup. And I got a Dundee somewhere. But whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna stop plugging whatever all this great stuff I have. John, anything you've been doing lately? I know you got some Game of Thrones things you're putting out as
Yes.
far as songs, and let us know where they can find you and sign us off, buddy.
Yeah, I've got music makes people come together. Right now, what I'm doing every week, we've got a new episode. I'm taking and putting 5 tracks to it, and those are going up Monday through Friday. I'm curating them just like I normally do with music on my channel. And Saturday, please, that would be tomorrow, vote on what you think is the perfect track for episode 1 of season 8. Because I want to know. I'm happy with all of them, but I'll be putting it up as a playlist. I'll be doing a little announcement, not so much curation like I have throughout the week. But yeah, I want to see what everybody thinks. I have my personal favorite, but I'm not going to share that with everybody because I want everybody else's opinion. Because that's the entire point of this. This entire playlist for season 8 is going to be follower prescribed. And so I am going to absolutely take no say in it. You pick what you want. And you vote on it. And that's going to be the season 8 playlist.
And that's it. And it's nice and interactive. I definitely go check out John's stuff for sure. I think it was a fantastic night, and we do have a little tag saying, of course, go check out my channel, whatever, you want to. And don't forget to hit all the
channel or I'll kick your ass.
don't forget to hit all the buttons right here. Feel them, touch them, press that share. Tell everyone about us because we have gotten our shit together, and we've been working really hard on this. And we come here, we bring it every week, and I thank you guys for this. It's been amazing. Y'all are fantastic. And yeah, we'll get the living hell out of here. So with that, so say we all.
So say
So
we
say we
all.
all.
So say we all.